What's going on, brothers? Hope everybody's doing well. I know that, a lot of you guys, if y'all on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I know a lot of you guys have seen that list um, of places of where a lot of the women said they, when it comes to a date, they didn't, these are the places that they don't want to go to. So I just want to just let you know that this is basically where it started from. This is exactly where it started from this lady from that refused to go inside the Cheesecake Factory. And as you can see, even after all of that, they end up they did an interview on the guy. Now, I'm going to tell you something, brothers. I don't believe that a black man would have even tolerated this at all. I don't think any black man would have tolerated this at all. And I was very, very upset at the fact that black men actually came out with a list after the women came out with a list. Brothers, we got to stop feeding into this nonsense with these black women, especially the American black women. I'm gonna tell you something. If you ignore them, they're gonna fall apart if you ignore them, brothers. I promise you that, because women love attention, and we're gonna get. I've been wanting to talk about this. I just wanted to see how all of this was gonna turn out. So we're gonna see everything from the beginning of the fact that he actually went and got her and everything, and then she refused to get out the car. Brothers, I'm gonna say this: you don't need to be taking no woman on no date. I'm telling you, it's no reason for you to waste your time taking women on dates. Most of these women, all they want to do is use you to get something to eat. That's it. We're going to get into a lot of things. The word dating, courting, because she has no idea what courting is. But she's going to give her definition of courting. But we're going to get into all that. And on top of that, even the host of this show, I feel like he's a simp because of the things that he's saying. It's like he's actually pandering to what she's saying. But we're going to go ahead and get into this. And I'll be chiming in here and there. Let's get into it.
Truth Factory. This episode is going to be a little bit different. Typically, we talk about devastating issues and inside of relationships and try to talk about the nuanced things in that relationship to heal it. This time, we're going to talk about dating. So, I don't know if you guys have saw the viral video, but there's a viral video where a woman is taken to the Cheesecake Factory and she does not want to go inside of there. She does not want to be embarrassed. This conversation ended up going viral, and here we are. Alicia.
Now, brothers, I hope y'all saw some. Matter of fact, let me go back just a little bit. I want y'all to see some of the comments that was said about this Cheesecake Factory.
Into the Cheesecake Factory, and she does not want to go inside of there. She does not want to be embarrassed.
Now look at these comments. And what's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? I guarantee you're Offset Cardi B on the date to the Cheesecake. Females ever get on live in the middle of a first date, date's over. That probably a dude that said bragging about courted, but out on the first date. I see why I don't know, ring on it. I don't even know what that means, but let's go ahead and continue.
Conversation ended up going viral, and here we are.
Now look at these comments. I love the Cheesecake Factory. She's tripping. This is what entitled and delusional looks like. That's true. Most of our women are delusional. This woman is appalling. This entitled behavior is such a big red flag. I would love to go to the Cheesecake Factory for a date. Not all women are divas. That is a true statement. And I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you, a lot of the women of America, they're very poisonous. And that poison is going over to other countries. They're going over to other countries. These women here feel entitled. And for what? The majority of our women in the United States don't make over $40,000 a year. It's a very low number. But they feel that they should get the best. You got these women talking about they're the prize. If there's more women than men in just in the United States, what would make you think that you're the prize? But let's go ahead and continue.
We are. Alicia, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
Jay, pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the show, and thank you guys for being willing to come here and have this dialogue. I'm sure you guys have gotten a lot of flack, maybe even some backlash and things of that nature from this video going viral.
Well,
Before we get into it, we're going to take a moment and just relook at that video. It's been a couple of weeks, so here we go right here.
yeah.
One of my favorite investments has got to be the...
Cheesecake Factory.
Hello?
Nothing. I'm just talking to my girls.
Okay. Tell them I said hi.
So, brothers, that's already a red flag already. She's going on a date and she's live. So from what I see, she's trying to embarrass this man. And keep in mind, this ain't even a black man. And I keep telling you, and I've said this already before, a lot of the other races are seeing how the American black woman is acting, and they don't want to deal with it. They'll have sex with you, but they don't want to deal with that nonsense. The only people that really tolerate a lot of stuff that these women are doing are us, black men of America. We tolerate this because no other race is going to tolerate the delusion and nonsense that these women are putting out. But let's go ahead and continue.
Yeah. Whew.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car.
Brothers, she locked his door. He went to the other side to open the door as a man to, open a door for her. And she locked the door, saying that she's not getting out. This is entitlement. And I'm not sure how much she makes. I would have already taken her home. Brothers, you don't have to tolerate none of this stuff. You, as a so-called black man, have to set standards for yourself. And if these women don't want to follow your standards, bid them a goodbye. Bid them a farewell. I promise you, the other races are not going to deal with this. Maybe the white man, but even the white men, a lot of the white men don't even deal with this. Again, they'll sleep with them, but that's as far as it goes. They not wifing them up. The marriage rate is not as high as it used to be. It is getting lower and lower. And even brothers now don't even want to even have kids. But let's continue.
Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look
Are you? You're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it?
Ma'am, I'm not going to say that you're overweight because I think you're over 6 feet. I think you're 6'2" or 6'1" or something like that. But you're average. You're an average looking woman. And I think that's the problem. I think y'all women put themselves at a very high standard, like they're the best. And she's an average looking woman. That's all she is. Another average woman. She ain't even got all. I'm sure that what's on top of her head is not all real. So I don't know what the heck is going on, but let's continue.
What?
I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get it on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
so you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. Look at, I mean, when you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting.
Brothers, let me tell you something. The word date and the word courting, dating and courting is two different things. And a lot of people put it in the same category. No one's courting you. In the old days, when you courted somebody, that woman was a virgin. I'm sure that she's not a virgin at all. She ain't no virgin. So I don't understand what makes her think that she's doing the right thing.
Her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this.
First of all, this is a first date. It's a first date. And she's considered courting. She feels like she needs to be courted. Ma'am, you're not even a virgin. So I don't know why you think you should be courted. Because that's basically what courting is. You're courting a virgin for marriage. You just going on a date because you want something to eat. That's it. So that's already a problem. And again, I really don't believe that a black man would have tolerated this. This man that's Indian should have known better. He should have known way better than this. But I wouldn't even have finished this whole conversation. And if she could have been conversating, I would have been driving her right back to the house.
As I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least, you know.
What up, Bleach?
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay,
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect.
So it's too early, and I get it. It probably is a little bit too early to be holding his hand, but yet you expect this man to take you on an expensive date. I'm again, brothers. Our women are just over the top. And again, we got to set, as a black man, we got to set standards. But this guy's Indian, so I don't even know why he even put up with this nonsense. No man should be putting up with this type of nonsense. Again, brothers, set standards for yourself. Set standards from the get-go.
Respect that. When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
Again,
maybe
I don't
we're not
know
there
yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
but
I got myself all made up.
Nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Well, look at my plan where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean now?
See,
I
I
know
specifically
you did.
told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 a.m. At 4 p.m. Right?
Mm.
And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs
I understand.
for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long.
So let me get this straight. I'm not sure what other restaurant he was going to, because obviously she wanted to go to that restaurant, but she was late. He got there on time to pick her up at 4 p.m. and she didn't even get out of the house until an hour after that. So now So that probably what. So that's the reason why he did the Cheesecake Factory. And here's the thing: she she feels that she's still entitled to go to that other restaurant, but she's saying that she's doing everything that she's supposed to as a woman. Again, brothers, we gotta set standards. And the only reason why she's playing him like that is because this dude is Indian. I'm telling you, if this was a black man, if this was a so-called black man, she wouldn't even have done this nonsense. And if she tried to do that nonsense, I'm sure that so-called black man would have already took her to the house. This is nonsense. Straight up nonsense, brothers. Thank you. And I'm not really going to get on her weight or anything like that because I can't really tell if she's big or not. Only thing I know is that I think she's like over 6 feet. But she already disrespected this man. So I ain't mad at him if he takes her home.
I got home a little late, and like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment, and that is not possible.
And that's why I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing. Which I'm still willing to do. I would have been.
So I don't know what he said. The restaurant's name is Aria. I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to assume it's an expensive restaurant. But she was late because he made reservations to be there, and they were late. So that's why he chose the Cheesecake Factory. So she messed it up. It wasn't him. She did, and she still feels entitled. We got to do, brothers. This should just be an eye opener because a lot of our women in America, the women of color, have a mentality like this. This is a childlike mentality. This ain't no adult mentality. This is a childlike mentality, brothers. This is how children act. But let's continue.
But if we're late, I told you twice.
It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot. Waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, the equivalent to that?
I literally
you don't understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing.
I will die. That's embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for dinner.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So you just want to call it a night? Isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you...
Ma'am, what do you mean is there some type of compromise? You were late. You had him late on another restaurant that y'all were supposed to go to. Then you acted like a child, and now you don't want to even go to the restaurant that he picked. I've only been to the Cheesecake Factory once, and I know when I went, I didn't even... It was a wait. It was a long wait. But I don't know. I don't. My thing is this, brothers. You bet. I don't even know how to even put this. She's not a bad looking woman, but she's overdoing it. She's overdoing it. And I'm not mad at this Indian dude at the fact that he's going to take her home. And this is exactly how a child acts. This is how children act, brothers. Children act like this. When they don't get their way, they start to whine and they start to pout. That's why I'm always going to continue to say that women have a childlike mentality. And the majority of them, especially our black women, don't mature. I used to say 45, but now it's 60. Most of our women don't mature mentally until they're about 60 years old. or whenever the cosmetics and all that other stuff starts to fade away. When they start to realize that now they got to actually use their brain because their looks is not what it used to be, that's when women start to mature. When they have no choice, when their pickings are very, very slim. But let's go ahead and continue.
Believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all.
He just pulled
but
out of the parking space.
If I don't feel
Can you
respected,
see?
I
I
am
mean-
not gonna go through
I
with
mean,
the rest
come
of the day.
on. Well, I mean, you are serious. You're really leaving.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh
So,
my God.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
All right, whatever. Well,
Brothers, how many times have if you have children, how many times have you had your child act like that? A little bit of pouting. See, she ain't really pouting hard. She does have a little bit of. See, the thing is, when she did this recording on this, I guess she thought she was going to get some sympathy, but instead she got embarrassed, which she should have. And a lot of women need to be shamed. A lot of our women need to be shamed. Because there's no shame right now. These women are doing whatever the hell they want to do. And here's the problem. It's a lot of the men that are letting this happen because we're not correcting it. Brothers, we need to start correcting things like this. If a woman like that is pouting, you go ahead and just throw in the trash can. I promise you'll find a better one. You don't have to deal with nothing you don't even have to deal with this at all. You don't have to deal with women that have a very childlike mentality. But let's go ahead and continue.
I mean, I guess I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. Well, I'm sorry. I understand where you're coming from.
No, you only sorry because you think that he might make a U-turn, but nah. I'm glad he stood his ground. I'm so glad that this brother stood his ground. He needed to. And a lot of you brothers, y'all need to do the same thing. And I'm going to continue. And I know I'm repeating myself. Brothers, set standards for yourself. Set standards. Let's continue.
People are bailing.
So, now here we are, a few weeks later. I'm sure you've had some time to think about what you guys discussed in the car. I'm sure you've had some time to think about it.
Yeah.
Before I ask you any questions, have you guys had a second date?
Now, brothers, let me put this out there real quick. So, it's been said that this whole thing was a skit. I'm not sure if it was, but if this was a skit, it didn't look good for the black woman at all. It didn't look good. So I don't know. I don't think this was a good skit, and I don't know what this was supposed to prove. And the thing is, it's not even a black man. There's a white person. I mean, I'm sorry, a person, Indian descent. So this didn't even look good on her part if this was supposed to be a skit. I don't know what this was supposed to prove.
No.
No second dates.
Not yet.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Jay. What has dating been like for you since that video went viral?
Since I was on the video, kind of unexpected, I might not have put my best foot forward, and so I feel like, I've not really met anyone since who I've really gotten to get to know like that, because a lot of women, they might have seen the video or might have heard from it, or maybe a friend of them has seen the video and shares it with them, And so they kind of had this image of me based on the video,
Absolutely.
and it hasn't really helped.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like
I don't see how you feel like your image was down when actually you made the right decision. So I don't understand how you feel that you had a bad image. You didn't have a bad image, brother. You didn't. She, on the other hand, she looked really bad. I saw the comments and it didn't look good on her part at all. She got tore up in the comments. But again, this is what created that big old list, brothers, on where women will not go out on a date with you with. So this is where it all started, if you wanted to know. And again, to you brothers that wanted to respond and made your own list, that's a no-no. Y'all should have never done that. Y'all should have just kind of just kept quiet and let them be. All you had to do is set your standards, black man. That's it.
they might think everything about me is reflected in that video, and I don't think it is. And but yeah, it's been difficult.
Sure.
Well, and it's even before this, dating has already been difficult for me.
I imagine your views kind of clash with what you're looking for and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think so. Because, I think in general, my values kind of.
You know what, brothers? Let me say this real quick, and I'm talking to you, brothers that are non-black. Sometimes it's better for you to stick with your own race. You don't need to go to the American black one, because I promise you're gonna probably lose a lot of hair. A lot of brothers around here run around here bald, eating out of trash cans, homeless because of a lot of black women. So I'm just, all you Indians, y'all Caucasians, y'all Hispanics, y'all might want to leave the black man. Y'all might want to leave the black woman alone, because you're more than likely, you're going to probably be depressed. And to you brothers, all you, my brothers, y'all, hey, go ahead and get your passports. Go ahead and get your passports, brothers, and see what the other cultures are like. You might be able to keep your hair, because the black woman is going to have you losing hair. I'm just keeping it 100. Let's continue.
Reflect wanting to build something that lasts.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that anyone that I meet is willing to build a really strong foundation based on our mutual values. Mm-hmm. And I think it in general, a lot of the people that I meet, either they don't have time to set towards building something like that, or they just don't want to, because they're younger, they want to experience casual dating or whatever it is, and it's just not something that I'm looking for right now.
Understood. So obviously, guys, Jay's saying that they're viewing him in a negative light when it comes to dating. When I saw Jay, I saw someone who was making some excellent points, who knew what he wanted, and he's actually now like a Giga Chad in the manosphere world, in the red pill community. The brother's being mentioned everywhere for the way he handled that conversation. Now I'm going to ask Alicia as well, because during this conversation, Alicia.
Thank you.
We'll get that right.
Man, what the hell you corrected him for? Let her do that. Brother, Indian guy, you don't need to do that. Let him disrespect her piece of trash name. She already hot garbage. You ain't even dating that chick. Let's continue.
Okay, so Alicia, you didn't seem to really disagree with what he was saying. Now, you had definitely a different opinion before he gave you his mind, right? But you seemed very receptive to it. Can you explain to me kind of what you were thinking and how you saw him in that video? Because he's saying they took him in a negative light. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think once we had the conversation, I could see my role in the conflict.
Okay.
let's back up a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me.
Mhm.
That means wherever I
Brothers, before she give out her definition of courting, let me go ahead and give out the definition of courting. All right. What courting, and I should have been able to pull it up, but when you're courting a woman, you're courting her for marriage. And then back in the days, in the old days, what they used to do, you were actually courting a woman. She was a virgin, and you were courting her for marriage. That's courting. What we're doing now here today is just, I don't even want to even call it dating. These women just all they looking for is something to eat. I promise you, if you friends with a woman, I promise you, look, ask her what your name is in her phone. I bet you might be the food guy. You might be the mechanic. You might be the guy that's walking her stinky dog. You might be the dude that's over there taking her trash out. Brothers, your name, I promise you that your name is not in her phone. Your name, your government name is not in her phone. She has you as something else. The maintenance guy, the pool guy, the guy that takes her to the mall guy. She probably don't even know your government name. So again, brothers, you're just being used. That's it. You're being used. But again, brothers, set standards. Let's continue.
want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want, you buy me. That's courting. You know, I'm looking for a provider. So, but after the conversation, I could see how there was a lot of
Okay.
in that exchange.
Absolutely.
I was definitely very self-centered, and I can appreciate if I do want someone to provide for me. I at least gotta be a little bit nice.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now I ask you this. Based on your idea of dating before your conversation with Jay, how did you grow up? Who also thinks that way? I'm sure you have friends who think that way. I've heard it a lot.
I mean,
Okay, so-
everybody. I mean, that's what he's supposed to be, the provider.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and
Brothers, have you noticed that anytime you talk to a woman, especially the so-called black woman, they always know what a man is supposed to do in a relationship, a marriage. They all know exactly what a man is supposed to do. But when you ask them what they're supposed to do, they have a list, and they have a list of what they're going to do and the things that they're not going to do. That's the basic for a man, provider and protector. That's just the two basics. Ask a woman what she's supposed to do in a relationship, and I guarantee you she's not going to be able to tell you. And even if she does, it's probably going to be a lot of bullshit. I don't hear too many women saying, well, this is what I'm supposed to do as a wife or as a companion. They can't tell you that, but they know exactly what a man is supposed to do. Funny how that works out. Let's continue.
beautiful woman. So I'm expecting to be treated like royalty. I mean, come on. So that's
But
what
the
I was
kicker
doing.
is, how do we treat him?
Hello,
and that's where
PMH.
the
Right.
disconnect was.
Right.
In the video, now of course I'm sure you think of it differently now, but in the video you basically told him that, you know, you're not going in there, you know your value. It would be embarrassing for you to go inside a Cheesecake Factory. A lot of people like Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
Now,
Okay.
so when I see that
All right,
video, I'm
inmate,
thinking,
thank you.
okay, she must have some friends who probably would disagree with her going inside a Cheesecake Factory. Your peer group. So
I would
peer
never-
pressure probably keeps you from.
never live that. Oh my God! I would have never lived that down.
Wow,
I
just
mean-
they the Cheesecake Factory. They wouldn't let you live that down.
No, I have an image to protect. I
What?
Wow.
it does not do that. I'm
Now, brothers, she said that she has an image to uphold. So if she goes to the Cheesecake Factory, she's going to be embarrassed. Embarrassed. And I'm trying to figure out. Here's the thing, brother, and I said this to somebody else. Whether you take a woman to the Cheesecake Factory, or you take it to the Olive Garden, or you take it to some expensive restaurant, a 5-star restaurant, what are y'all, what's the difference in what y'all gonna talk about? The environment may be different, but what are you really going to talk about? And if y'all saw the video of when she was in the car, look at how she was dressed. So if she was taking her to, I'm not even sure of any, Ruth Chris, I'm sure that you there's probably a dress code. I've never been to Ruth Chris, never been there, but I'm sure there's some type of dress code going inside that restaurant. Do you see how she was dressed? She had her breast. It was, all you had to do was just pull it down just a little bit more, and you would have been able to see the nipples. So is that really appropriate of what she was wearing to an expensive restaurant, or probably where he was taking her? And yet, but the Cheesecake Factory is too much. Somebody trying to come up. How'd I mess that up? Oh, I guess nobody's trying to come up. Oh, somebody is trying to come up. G.I. Joe, who are you?
Hey man, what's up?
What's going on, Mr. G.I. Joe?
Man, not much. Yeah, man. It was really really bad, for her to being like that, because I never knew a restaurant like that, Cheesesteak Factory, exists until I saw it on I think Instagram or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the things caught me where the guy came out of the car and about to be, real gentleman type,
Mm-hmm.
about to open her door. She locked it.
Oh, you noticed that? Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah, that's
I
why
spoke. I
felt
spoke
like,
on that.
oh, and I like, wait a minute, you in the man car, you you lock the door, wind down windows, start videotaping. So like, I like, nah, that's just disrespectful right there.
Oh yes,
But
it was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
yeah, and when the guy getting back in the corner and I start, there's both start having the conversation about talking, and the guy said, I booked the reservation early for us to be there on time. You've been in your apartment for about an hour.
Correct.
Never in my life experienced that kind of shit. You and a woman decide to go on a date. She decided to stay in her apartment 1 hour. No, look at that. This man got patience. 1 hour, not half hour, not 15 minutes, a hour. But the
Right.
man still be genuine, put that aside, still brought her out. She decided don't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Right. Well,
That's not the man's fault. That's her fault, because the man already do a reservation, which they were supposed to be on time. She waited in her appointment for about an hour. That's bullshit to me.
right.
Trying to have the man in a live broadcast, make the man feel small. She displaying herself like she don't want to be at no Cheesecake Factory. So who doesn't know about Cheesecake Factory know that restaurant exists? Cause I never knew.
Right. Well, let me go ahead and finish this out, man. But thank you for coming up,
All
man,
right.
and putting out your little thoughts, man. Thank you so much, bruh.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and get back into the video, brothers.
I mean, that was, that was my circle, though. That's how,
Sure.
I mean, that's how we roll.
Sure.
I mean, to be quite blunt, that's how we roll. Hypergamy is a big, is a big thing in my circle. It's what we've been taught. Why? I mean, as a black woman, I'm gonna go there. I mean, as a black woman, we're really tired of having to settle. We want to be treated well. We want that soft life. So that's what I thought I was going after. However, what I understand is a part of having a soft life is being cooperative,
Being soft.
not being combative.
That doesn't even make any sense. Again, y'all will go, this was your first date. Your first date. And you embarrassed yourself, but yet you talking all this stuff that you claimed that you was taught. You wanted to show off in front of your friends. That's what you was doing. You was trying to show off in front of your friends, and it backfired. That's what you was doing. And now the Indian guy, he like a big time simp right now. He like a little kid. I swear. But let's continue.
You're
Right?
actually being soft.
Right,
Right?
right.
Being receptive, being
Right.
sweet,
Absolutely.
being pleasant, right? Because we do understand the value of resources, but it can't be just something for a lifestyle. Resources, a man's resources is not just for a woman's experiences and traveling and the lifestyle they'll live when married. Is for providing for the family and the children. And that's why she should seek a man and, respect his resources or prioritize his resources, not just for what it can do for her.
Right.
And so when you were in the beginning of it, you was just saying, I'm not doing it. It seemed really selfish.
It
right.
was.
And I appreciated that when I saw the video.
What do you mean it seemed selfish? It was selfish. It didn't seem selfish. It was selfish. The majority of our women, especially black women, are selfish by nature. That's why the Most High gave them the maternity DNA so that way they could be able to take care of somebody else besides themselves. Women are naturally selfish. That's just their nature. And we got to be able to work with that, brothers, or just throw them in a trash can and move on.
For myself, that's one of the things I covered is, wow, I've never seen a woman that receptive to being accountable, right? And you were. But Jay, however, didn't want to.
Sir, she wasn't accountable for anything until after that ninja started taking her home. That's when she started to apologize. She wasn't accountable for anything. Come on, bruh. You as a host should have known better than that. I don't know if this is a skit or what, but bruh, you over here pandering to this monkey mouth biatch. You better stop while you ahead. I'm clowning your ass anyway.
Want to go out on a date. He wanted to discontinue that date, and he wanted to take it on to the house. Jay, is that your first time stopping a date midway through and going on back home, or?
Yeah, something like that's. I'm sorry, at least. Yeah, that's the first time I've really put my foot down to that kind of extent. But it's not like an isolated incident.
Okay.
I've gone on dates with several people now, even before her, where they had very specific things they were looking for in a boyfriend or whatever, and even within my own circles, right? And that's just not something that I'm looking for, because I was raised like we were talking about how she was raised, whereas with me, my family, we've passed down the name for ages, and we're a very close-knit, strong family.
You passed down your first name, Jay? Like
Yes.
your father's and father.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
generations, probably?
I mean, I couldn't really count it myself.
Wow.
Because the thing is, I'm from India.
Okay.
And the partition happened where India was separated from Pakistan, and a lot of my family were on both sides of that, and we had to come back together.
Wow.
And we had to. It was very important for us to stay strong after the fact. At the time, maybe we didn't care as much about creating this legacy, but ever since, it's that's been one of the strongest parts of our family, is the importance in creating a legacy. And with that in mind,
I hope y'all heard that, brothers. Trying to create a legacy. He would have never been able to create no legacy with this skeezer anyway. But we're gonna go ahead and fast forward just a little bit, because he doing too much talking. And this dude over here is simping. Let me see if I can get to what she talking about.
transgender. It's made very, very cool.
I don't know what's going on with these commercials. Hey, brothers, don't support the LGBTQHO alphabet community. Let's continue.
Right, we may have to make an exception or two, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not what we want, it's what we need.
What the heck is going on with these commercials?
Very, very cool through the media.
And we have to be more open to what we need.
That's absolutely true. I was going to say, when it comes to how we date, I think a lot of it is just the information that we have, right? So what I noticed from yours and Alicia's conversation, Jay, is that you had a different view of altogether of what dating should look like leading up to a relationship, and she had a different view. And now,
like, what I should say is, I mean, at the very end of the day, like, I understand dating in America is different from where my family's from, and in a way, like, it's perfectly fine to have those views and to think of dating differently. I just think, for me, I have a very specific criteria, and it's not a long list of criteria, but it's just certain values that I
sure. Well, I think a lot like you. That's why the video stood out to me. I believe relationships should be harmonic. They should be for a reason. So I believe in dating with intent, right? Yeah. But many people in our generation today, they see dating as something that's just fun. They don't see it as a way to establish a healthy relationship. And that's what I was going to...
A lot of brothers, and there are men too, but a lot of women play like that. They date just for fun and to eat. They're all they're trying to do is get in your pockets. That's it. So a lot of our women, they don't care. They don't care about you. I've told you guys that plenty of times, brothers. Our women don't care about you. One day they'll say, "Oh, I love my black man," and next day, "F you ninjas." That's exactly what they say. And for her to even do this to a guy from India or an Indian man is even worse. That's why a lot of the other races don't want to deal with the American black woman. So again, brothers, to you brothers, I advise you to get your passports and see what's going on out there. Check out the other cultures. I'm telling you, you couldn't, if you was to ask a black woman about her standards, she has none. Most of them don't have a standard. You are now seeing that the majority of over 80% of black women are single mothers, and a lot of them are sleeping with pretty much the same man in their circle. A lot of them are doing that. You're not really going to find a woman that doesn't have kids nowadays, in America at least. So, brothers, I advise you, just get your passports. I'm not telling you to go marry outside of your race. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you to go just look at the other cultures and then come back to America and see if this is what you want to deal with. You can find a woman outside the United States, brothers, a woman of color outside the United States. And I'm telling you, go to Brazil. There's a lot of women of color in Brazil. You don't even have to even deal with any of these women here in the United States. But let's continue.
I want to say there's almost little to no understanding as to what dating should look like when you're trying to establish an intent for a meaningful relationship. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much that people are necessarily selfish or entitled. It's more so that they don't know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oftentimes we think we know, but we really don't.
Right. Yeah. Right. So when he asked you the question, you expect men to go all out on a date, huh? Mm-hmm. You said absolutely. If he likes her, he should present that, right? Yes. He should lead and be masculine. He should be willing to pay for the meal, show up on time, open doors for her, the whole nine. But when he asked you what is a woman expected to do, you said, look good, be there. And that's what...
I hope y'all heard that. She said that all a woman is supposed to do is look good and be there. So that already tells you that the woman, most of our women don't even know what it is to be a wife. All of our women know exactly what a man is supposed to do. The two basics, provide and protect. That's what a man is going to do. It don't matter who you date. It could be a drug dealer. He's going to protect his woman. He's going to provide for his woman. It don't matter what job he has. That is just something that is already in a man. But for the woman, you heard what she said. She said all day, all she has to do is look good and be there. That's it. That's all. And I don't understand that. Let me see who's trying to come up. Beast mode. Keep it short.
How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man?
Man, you know, regular day, regular schedule program. I just wanted to get my little 2 cents on this, bro, because, like, I think a lot of men don't really know what I'm about to say.
No, we don't.
You hear me?
I hear you, but
Bro.
we don't know what you're about to say. So go ahead and say it, bro.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is this, man. Because I got my passport, but I done dealt with different races. And I can say this. I learned, and it's really proven through studies, that a woman she can't connect to you on the emotional level after a certain amount of companionships. So if she had, I think, like 5 or more bodies, she can't connect to you on the emotional level anyway. So it's not like she wants to. It's like she's it's almost like she's numb to emotions when it comes to being connected to a man after a certain amount of people that she's been connected with. I would say if you're gonna look for a wife, look for a virgin, just for that emotional connection that you would be able to get from her. But even if she's not a virgin, if she got over 5 men that she's been sexually explicit with, or she had some type of sexual relationship with them, at least if she had more than 5 men, it's over. It don't matter how much she love you, care about you. It don't matter about the lust. It don't matter about the infatuation. Nothing. None of that. It don't matter how much you provide for her. She's not going to be able to connect to you emotionally enough to even care about how you feel, what you think, what you want, what you desire. It's only going to be about her after certain amounts, after so many failed companions or relationships. That's all I wanted to say, bro. Like, it don't matter what race she is or nothing. If she got so many bodies, it's over with.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Beast Mode, for your thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and put you back down in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the video, my brother.
For sure.
Let's go ahead and continue, my brothers.
Right?
Disconnect was, yeah.
Absolutely. Because there should be things that a woman should do, right? So if you've thought about that, could you tell me some of what you think now, if he would have asked you that question today?
Sure. If you think about, watching the video, it's like, how do you expect this person to keep giving, and you're not giving anything back? So now we're depleted.
Absolutely.
And so who's going to pour into him?
Wow.
So, I mean, if you truly do want that type of protection provider, there has to be some balance.
Absolutely.
So.
Wow, that's very powerful. I actually took...
Bro, what the hell? He asked her, what is it that she's supposed to do, like, basically, as a woman. She didn't even answer the question, and this goofy-ass ninja said that was powerful, what she said. She didn't say anything. What is going on? And, nigga, what is that at the top of your head? I'm assuming you must be Muslim or something now. I swear... Every time somebody says something crazy, all of a sudden it's powerful. There was nothing powerful about what she just said. Nothing powerful of what she just said. And she didn't even answer your question, my brother. You must have had some pork today. Let's continue.
Took the liberty to make a list of things that men and women should look for in each other on a date, right? I'm gonna read them to you. I want you guys to tell me what you think of in the end, okay? Let's start with what you're looking for in a man, okay? So what a woman looks for in a man is respect and courtesy. Would you say I'm wrong? Confidence, right? Communication skills,
Absolutely.
knowing what he wants, where he's going with it, right?
Yes.
Initiative, taking the initiative, chivalry,
Yes.
okay, resilience,
Yes.
right? So even when you being a little bit, hard to get, he can push past that, right? The resilience, generosity,
Yes.
okay. So here are the behaviors that look good to a man when he's looking for a woman. I'm going to ask you the same questions. You tell me if you like the sound of that. Men are looking for kindness, right? You want her to be really kind, really sweet, right? Pleasant. So what about active listening?
Yeah.
And you said when she got in the car, she was putting the makeup on and she wasn't really responding to you or responsive to you.
So y'all heard that. He was already late. He got there at 4:00. They didn't leave out of there until about after 5. And then she was still putting on makeup while they was in the vehicle. So again, brothers, we have to set standards. I've done it already before where I left a woman at the house. She was taking too long. I dipped and went right back home. I didn't get a call from her again, but hey, I didn't care. Hey, that was just a couple of dollars that was stayed in my pocket. So brothers, we got to set standards. We have to set standards.
Yeah.
You took from that she didn't like you much.
Yeah.
Right. Encouragement. And,
Yes,
and
please.
you said that, being able to pour back into him, right? Positivity, right? So not being negative, having a smile on your face, right? Respect for independence,
Yeah.
okay? Adaptability, okay? There was this time where you wanted her to hold your arm,
Yeah.
right? And walk you so you could walk her to the car, and she didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
You expressed to her that you didn't like that, and that made you feel like, of course, with her not being on your arm, how can you truly protect her, right? But also, her not doing that says she ain't really feeling me like that.
Yeah.
She don't really like me like that.
And
Yeah.
I get, it was a first date. Maybe she's not at that stage yet. But
I get that too.
Yeah.
Brothers, brother, first of all, Mr. Indian man, you don't need to, no, don't talk for her because I'm sure that's not the first time she's been on a date. So don't talk for that skeezer. Don't fill her head up because now she acted like she, you know what, I get it. You're Indian. See, brothers, it would have been no talking. I mean, it would have been it. I'm telling you, brothers, it's way more women in the world than men. These women can get replaced. You, brothers, have to start walking with your head up high and know that you are the prize. Most of these women, especially our women of color, are not the prize. They already been ran through a couple of times. Most of them got kids, so they're not the prize. They are not the prize, brothers. She ain't even got her real hair. Look, her edges is probably, I don't even know. Like, she need a line up back up there. Look at that head. Look at that head, brothers. Let's continue. And why she got purple lipstick on? It ain't even matching with nothing that she's wearing. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Question. Let's just say you're out with him, right? You're on a date with a guy, and some guy comes up, takes your purse. Do you want your date to have your back?
Yeah.
So,
He has to protect me.
and even if he's not ready for that yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he shouldn't even ask you on a date if he's not going to protect you if something would happen to you. This is why you should take his arm. You see, so it may feel like I'm giving this guy too much of me, but it's more like I'm being cooperative to the roles that we're playing. He's going to protect me if something happens right now, and so I'm going to stand close to him. This lets the people on the outside looking in know that I'm with this man. He is taking care of me. We're out together, right?
It's like, it kind of shows that you trust.
Absolutely.
So, brothers, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward just a little bit because this is nonsense anyway. But let's go ahead and fast forward. And it better not be a stinky commercial.
I'm saving
Of
with
course,
Liberty
it's a
Mutual.
commercial.
They customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. You could save $700 just by switching. Oh, let me put a reminder on my phone.
Objectifying the woman and she's just like a toy for them.
Right.
And then there's the ones that really are.
Trying to buy his way in,
Yeah.
just trying his best to earn any type of affection from her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those men, there's a lot of those women who allow that to happen, right? So that's why I take what Jay doing here as being something that is great for men everywhere, okay? He knew his worth. You are a beautiful woman. But he said, you know what? I'm just gonna take her home. I don't have to do this. Even to the point when you said, I will go eat with you at Cheesecake Factory. He saw it as, I would have set aside the date, right? Us being late to that reservation. You're not holding my hand. You're not talking to me in the car. But it seems that you pulling out that camera really, really got to him. Do you mind telling me what you probably took?
Brothers, before she even answers that question, let me tell you something, brothers. Once they start all that recording, it's time for her to go too. It's time for you to go ahead and put, or just drop her off. Throw her in the trash can, brothers. If she starts recording you on the date, throw her in the trash can. All right? You don't need her. Brothers, it's way too many women in the world. You don't have to put up with one belligerent skeezer. But let's continue.
By that, you're just on a date, and all of a sudden now she's recording you.
A lot of times, if I'm the one asking a girl out, that's me already offering to pay for the meal, right? That's me already being okay with that, right? But her recording me did feel like that's where I felt like she was trying to take advantage. She was trying to and maybe you had a different view on it, but it felt...
No, she didn't have a different view on it, brother. She was trying to embarrass you. And it was disrespectful. But we're going to see what she has to say, because she's probably going to try to justify why she was recording him. And that purple lipstick looked like trash on her.
Felt like at the time that you were just trying to get food, like a free meal from a fancy restaurant.
Facts.
And then you get content from me too.
Facts.
To post on YouTube, Facebook.
That's what she was doing, trying to get content.
Your reputation ran through the mud, so it's all be done at your expense, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that wasn't your take. You have many groups where you encourage women on dating. Y'all talk about dating, and this was something that you said. Look, y'all see a lot of dates go wrong.
Right.
So, based on your mindset, you really felt like he was taking you somewhere beneath your value.
Yeah.
And you were saying, I'm going to show the world how you're treating me, right? Can you tell us a bit about that, so he knows that, it wasn't to embarrass you, it wasn't to, get content, any of that. It was, I felt wronged in that scenario. You mind?
No, I did. I felt like you didn't see my value. And, in that moment, I felt like I needed the support of my viewers.
Ma'am, what are you talking about? He was going to take you to an expensive restaurant and you were late. So if you really want to put it like that, you didn't respect his values. You didn't even respect him at all. You was an hour late. He told you that he was going to be there at 4:00 to pick you up. And you wasn't even ready until 5. And even after you got in the car, you was still putting on makeup. So you didn't even respect him. And I don't have a problem with him not wanting to take you I don't have a problem with him take you to the Cheesecake Factory. Not at all. And you act like that's McDonald's. So you know what you was doing. You wanted to embarrass him, but yet now you're trying to justify what you did. And you're not even apologizing. You should be apologizing to him. That's what you should be doing. But again, it backfired on her.
In that moment. And not only that, like he said, I discuss relationships and things like that. So I thought that was a good...
How you discussing relationships and you just failed at a date? What do you be discussing on relationships? You're probably a failure with your own relationships because you're not in one. And from what I've been told, you don't even date black men. So you're a failure. Big time.
Good opportunity for me to kind of have that conversation and see, like, what does everybody else think? Mm-hmm. I wasn't really taking your feelings into consideration. I wasn't trying to be necessarily malicious or anything like that.
But you was malicious. Even though you said you wasn't trying, you was malicious. You was recording. That's crazy. You should have been, the brother should have turned around before he even got to the Cheesecake Factory. I tell you, brothers, you don't have to deal with stuff like this. I don't know why he even dealt with something like this. I'm telling you, the other races are not dealing with the black woman like that. They're not. They'll have sex with them, but that's as far as it goes. They're not marrying them. Out of all the races and genders, black women are the least likely to get married. They are the least likely to get married out of all the races. And black men is starting to wake up, and they're not even tolerating them. They'll just have sex with you. They'll date you. They'll be your girlfriend, but they will not make you a wife, because the majority of our women are not raised to be wives. They are raised to compete with you, black man. That's all they're doing. Because by the time they turn 40 after the second or third child, now they want to be some relationship gurus, and they don't know shit, and they still failing. And then they get mad at older men that are dating younger women. Let's continue.
I understand.
Good. I'm gonna say this, guys, to end this video, okay? In a world with hookup culture, not having much understanding on relationships based on how we're raised, and then you got social media with the instant gratification and making it so easily to meet people and replace people. Dating it's like a thing that's lost to us. I want to ask these two beautiful people here a question. They had one date that went bad. They have not went on a date since that day, right? Now, would you guys be open to another date, knowing what you know now?
I think if we were able to find a way to get our values more in the center, I could see us trying again.
Brother, you should just stick with your race. It should have just been a no. Because she's not worth it. She is not worth it. You need to stick with your own race. That's what you need to do. I'm sorry to say that, brother, but you need to stick with your own race. Why even put up with this nonsense?
I mean, yeah, I would be willing to go out on a date again.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, we want to keep up with this first date. Actually, we're going to take care of this first date. It's going to be on us. So we're going to send you somewhere just like they used to do on all those other talk shows. We're going to take care of it.
Bad idea. So I'm assuming she probably going to be able to pick where she want to go, and it's not worth it. I wouldn't even show up. Let her go by herself.
Then we'll reach back to you guys in a couple of weeks and find out how that's going. How does that sound?
I'd love
to see what you guys are up to.
As long as it's not the cheesecake now.
Oh.
You see that? As long as it's not the Cheesecake Factory. See, right there, I would have just said, forget it. I would have said, forget it. And this is, and to this black Muslim, he think it's funny. That ain't even funny. We gotta set standards. I don't care if she is joking. She's serious. She ain't joking.
She is funny, man.
Yeah.
She ain't no comedian.
Guys, this was an amazing episode of The Truth Factory. Hopefully you guys learned something from that and can apply it to your life. Happy hunting for your next partner. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
So, brothers, I hope you guys learned something from this, brothers, because dating is not worth taking anybody out anymore. It is not. Your hard-earned money. It is not worth taking any of these women out. So you see, and I'm gonna tell you something, brother. That's the representation of a lot of our black women in America. Women gonna be like, no, I don't act like that. They lying. They are lying. They put themselves on such a high pedestal that, and I'm telling you, when they fall hard. They fall very hard on their face. Very hard on their face. But that's pretty much it, brother. That's all I wanted to put out. I know I don't go live as much as I used to, so but I'll probably go live again maybe next week sometime and find something else to talk about. But that's pretty much it, brothers. This is pretty much where that list, all them lists came from. And brothers, stop feeding into this nonsense too. You black men especially, y'all got to stop feeding into the bullshit. Because the more you feed into it, It's always going to be a back and forth. You gotta let the woman talk. Most of the time they talk themselves out of bullshit. I mean, not out of bullshit, but they talk themselves out of shit anyway. And I mean, I'm talking about dates. They talk themselves out of jobs and everything else. So that's pretty much it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace out.